Hey, everybody. I know it's maybe a little bit of a shock, me having my own little, like, Charlie moment, but there are some things that have gone on, specifically on Twitch, that I definitely want to touch on and kind of give my opinion on. I do. I'm going to tie a lot of things back to the video that Jacksepticeye recently put out. I will admit I haven't made it all the way through the video, just with life and my day job and everything like that, just making it really busy from time to time, so I haven't gotten to finish it. But I wanted to focus this video on, the main thing from Jacksepticeye's video is that he's right. And I'm kind of tired of it too. And what I mean by I'm tired of it is being just how the internet seems to be only genuinely fueled by hate. Whether it's, my own experience or really just you can just scroll pretty much any social media, Twitter or Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It's just people only interact and only know how to interact with hate most of the time. There's rarely ever an instance where you see that someone is actually being uplifting or helpful or giving constructive feedback. And it's really frustrating. It's honestly just so depressing to see, mostly. Um, Especially here. And that's what I wanted to focus on too is what's currently happened recently, why I don't agree with it, and then I'm going to kind of go over just my experience. Now, obviously, have I had my moments where like I'm raging at a video game or this or that, whatever it may be, I may be having a bad day, sure. But in terms of like some of the comments that can be made on the internet, I mean, there are some things that are being said that you just can't defend, just like I couldn't defend myself in a courtroom if I was being held for knowing the Zoo Pals theme song from the commercial back in the 2000s. Someone says oink oink and I'm already, I'm guilty at that point. But you compare that to then what's said here.
You're literally creating a tier list by not supporting them because there's someone else on the list? No, I'm not. I'm not supporting any of it. Absolutely not. I'm not supporting a group of people that would, kill a gay person or a trans person for existing. I'm not going to support that group of people in any context. Absolutely not. No. It's not even a question. These people would be the ones doing the genociding if they had the power. They would be doing it. Their laws currently enable them to do it. If you want to consider a genocide as a systematic killing of a group of people, they have genocide built into Sharia law right now. So no, I'm not going to cry a fucking river when people who have genocide that's baked into their laws are getting genocided. I don't give a fuck. They're terrible people. It's not even a question. It's crazy that people don't see it that way.
And that, I don't know how you defend that. And there's, like I said, there's been some comments from Thor and others where, like, he's trying to get better. He may be just on the wrong track for quite some time. But my main thing, too, is one, wow. Number two is just like, I don't know where you go down a path, especially with the audience that you have, where you just kind of conglomerate a whole group of people into one thing and then that's your statement that you're going to make that to all these thousands of people. There's no way to put PR between you and the audience. But I mean, where's the self-awareness? Where's the I have an audience that could be younger and I could be influencing people to make certain decisions, or I could be changing people's decisions? There's none of that going on, and there's especially none of that going on with this case that happened recently.
I have no pity at all for any fucking soldiers. Distress, thank you so much. I will never have any fucking pity for any fucking soldiers. U.S. military? Boo fucking who? I hope you get PTSD. I do, the ones I'm like whatever about the U.S. soldiers are the ones that like acknowledge that like what they did was wrong. They didn't know back then. Whatever. You're a good person in my book. I'm like a Tom, thank you so much for the 10 gifted. The U.S. military that are like, yeah, like, I did this back then, but now I know it's wrong. Like, I'm changed. Like, fuck imperialism. Fuck this. You don't deserve the PTSD. But, like, any other motherfucker, you're joining them. You're like, oh my God, I want my fucking Camaro, no student loans. Fuck you. I hope you get PTSD. And I hope you get no health insurance when you get back into fucking America.
So now, there are 2 instances of streamers with large audiences just saying I won't say the most heinous stuff, because obviously there's way worse things that you can say, Dr. Disrespect, but there's a level of things where you have to understand something. You have to understand that you are no longer just someone sitting in your room to a point. Yes, you can still act that way, but there's so much more responsibility that goes with having that kind of audience that is just not taken into account anymore. And with these instances, another thing that I want to really, really push as well is how not to respond to this stuff. I think my main issue with everything is we could have called it out, said it was horrid and everything, and then moved on, not caused a whole ruckus. But I mean, I can't even open X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it. I should really not even be on that anymore. I should move to Blue Sky myself as well. But the comments in regards to that last clip were, it's just responding with more hatred and just vitriol and personal attacks. It's, them going off about, I think I saw one tweet that said, it looks like they would get PTSD from a treadmill. Sure, to some people that may be funny, but at the end of the day, it's like, just get them out of here and let's move on. Now, do I think that the repercussions took a little bit? Twitch probably should have been faster. Yes and no. I mean, it's just weird, and one of the things for me, I'm not going to get into it, never going to get into it. Politics stays far away from my content creation stuff. There's a lot of things that I may personally have my own hot takes on, but it's not worth discussing with an audience and getting into that nitty-gritty and possibly just causing anger and discomfort and things like that. Bringing those 2 situations up and the responses, like, we shouldn't be responding with personal attacks and more hatred, because then it grows. It nurtures just everyone being okay with saying this horrid shit to one another, no matter the context, no matter the consequences, and they just continue to move with that as we move on. Tying back into what Jacksepticeye said, it's just kind of ridiculous. It's getting out of hand. It's just growing too much, and it's what's now driving the internet. And that ties into my own experience, and I don't know how much this is covered in Jack's video. Again, I haven't made it all the way through because of just life being busy. But, I see it as especially more difficult on smaller creators, especially those who maybe don't have a thick skin whenever it comes to that stuff. And that's what I wanted a big chunk to focus on too. And, this video may also prove an example of what I'm about to go over. My Twitch account was created on November 24th, 2012. That makes my Twitch account almost 12 years old. I have been in content creation in general for years and years and years, whether it was on Vine, Instagram, TikTok, now YouTube Shorts. Have I had my spouts where I stopped doing it? Yes. But that's because it was hard to get anywhere. I had my issues where I was only ever getting negative comments. I was never getting anything positive, nothing helpful, nothing sustainable. And it started to build up, and it was difficult to deal with. And so, yeah, I had my moments where I had to stop because mentally I couldn't take it. Now, my skin is a lot thicker than it used to be. I'm able to handle a lot more. I just kind of ignore it. But I will even say nowadays, whenever I post something and I do either ask for feedback or, conversation on something, and then the comments are, kind of like this, and, not conducive to the conversation at all, not, helpful, doesn't actually give any kind of constructive feedback or any kind of helpful feedback, yeah, from time to time I do delete them, because what's the point of you being here? You're just here to be negative. You're here to cause a problem. It's just kind of dumb to me, because even in my experience, whenever I'm scrolling through TikTok or whatever, I don't go into this like, oh, this person is commonly hated, so I'm just going to go off of on a blah, 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 and go in the comments and just type something nasty. I mean, on TikTok, one of the examples I'll use is, if I'm up pretty late at night, there's one guy that I've come across his live video on TikTok where he's live streaming himself go to the gym and try and lose weight. So, it's just him on his own. He's listening to music. He's in the gym, a public gym. And, there are people, coming by and in his chat and everything. In those situations, if I see him, I'll usually go in there and just type, something positive for him to tell him to keep going. He's doing a great job, something. But it seems like the world is oriented the other way, where there is the opposite of that mindset that people just suddenly feel, I have to say something negative because he's, overweight, he's obese or whatever. I have to make him know that. I have to remind him of that, or I have to say something like that. And that's just ridiculous to me. I don't understand it. I don't think I'll ever understand it, because it doesn't help me. I don't feel better making those comments. And it doesn't help the other person. If anything, it might bring them down more. It might, it might cause other issues. Who knows? So there's just no value in doing that. But for some reason, there is a difference now where that's what fuels everybody. They feel better bullying people on the internet. Like, I mean, that's all I see you guys as, is like, you guys are the school bullies that now don't have any friends to bully on or any people around you 24/7 to bully on. So you sit in your room all day scrolling Twitter or TikTok or whatever else just to find the next negative thing to say to somebody. And like, yeah. I cannot fathom it. I can't. I'm just gonna be honest. I can't fathom it. And like, I've kind of gotten tired of the whole trying to be a speech teacher or just an empathy teacher. Plain and simple. I don't think I should have to go around teaching other adults or young adults on the internet empathy and, hey, you probably shouldn't say that, or hey, instead of saying some of the vile stuff you're saying about someone's skill, their looks, or anything else, how about you put yourself in their shoes? Maybe they get that every day. Maybe they're tired of getting that. Maybe they'll just stop communicating with people, become a hermit. Who knows? You could be the cause. You could be doing something. And there are some people who maybe will backpedal and change their mindset and everything, but then there are people who just genuinely don't care, and they'll just double, triple, quadruple down and continue to do it. And so there's just, I'm not wasting the energy on those people. I'm tired of wasting the energy on those people because you guys don't change and you seem to love being that bully. So there's just no point. And the thing is with my own experience, it happens even now. There's the most recent short that I put up where there is a specific panel in a dungeon on Destiny 2 where you can't, if I'm looking at it from a side profile and shooting at it, the bullets will just go through it. I have to actually somewhat shoot the front panel side because that's only where the hitbox is. The first comment I think that was received on that, and I'll put it up on screen too, but I'm pretty sure the very, very, very first comment within the first hour or two of it being live just said garbage. Thanks for the interaction, I guess, because that's realistically all I treat these comments as now, is it's just, you're helping the algorithm by commenting on my stuff, so thanks. Appreciate it. Go fuck off somewhere else and be a dick. I don't know. And it happens a lot of the times, too, on other videos. It'll probably happen on this one because I'm talking about it. People will go into the comments, make, personal attacks, say I'm, fat, this, that. They always make comments about my chin because I don't really have one. Shocker, I've heard it 1,000 times. Thanks. But it's just kind of, it also rattles me a little bit in terms of, I feel for other smaller content creators because they may also feel that pressure of, what's the point of me uploading? If all I'm ever going to get is negative comments and negative interactions with everything, why would I upload? And that's where, I would tell them, you just kind of have to be strong with it. You just really, and it's so hard, especially at first, to ignore it, because you're doing something and you're wanting to get better, so you're open to this feedback and you open yourself for this, whether it's good, bad, whatever, and then it's just all bad, and then it just feels, you just start to beat yourself up and say, maybe I am just the worst at this. I promise it's not. I mean, even for myself, a good video that's an example is whenever we were talking about the situation that came up with Destiny, and my video was titled, why are we talking about this again? Or how are we talking about this again? And people did not like that video, to be honest. It has quite a bit of likes, but it also had quite a bit of dislikes. There's a lot of comments on there that are just mad about the situation, or just mad about people talking about the situation realistically. But then an even worse example for people to kind of keep in mind as well is when I made the video on getting the Legend title in Destiny 2. People really did not like that video. I think only 35% of the actual interactions in terms of likes and dislikes is actually likes. And there is only one comment that I really haven't responded to, and it was one of the first ones that I made this video giving some genuine feedback, some constructive feedback, talking about the issues, and I got the comment of scared hunter meta simp. Okay, what does me being a hunter player have to do with the tedium and some of the really selfish behaviors that people had to perform in order to get the title done? Like, what am I supposed to do with that? Yeah, and hopefully this helps you guys kind of see how ridiculous it can look from the other side in terms of just, okay, what's the point? And don't get me wrong, I do love interaction no matter what, and there have been some interactions that correct me or, have some genuine feedback of like something maybe that they don't like that I either did or made in the video, who knows, right? Those are fine. I can be I can be called out on my shit. I can be corrected. That's not a problem. I've never had a problem with that. Correct me. I prefer that you correct me because then it helps adjust myself. It helps change things in terms of maybe my thinking or my, my content creation moving forward. So, with having that experience and being on Twitch for so long, my main problem is I'm starting to get kind of annoyed that the people who are given the opportunity of a lifetime to be able to do content creation like this full time I don't want to say don't deserve it, because a lot of them have done the work. They've done, probably more work than me. But I'm sitting here asking the question, why are we putting people in that position? Why are we putting these individuals in that position who then can do these horrendous things and say these horrendous things and then influence all of these people to start being the same way? And I've made comments like this on stream before where I feel like I have to say something so out of the box and so on the line of being offensive in order to have a popular clip go viral. I don't like that feeling. I'd rather my content be enough to have people stick around, enjoy the actual videos and stuff that we make, and then, just stick around because they think it's funny or they enjoy watching it. Not because I'm saying something so on the line and almost over the line about an entire creed of people that don't deserve to have their lives or their livelihood. It's just getting to the point where it's ridiculous. And I hate seeing these comments where it's like, oh, the only right person we've made popular or given a streaming career is, Queso or Jinxie or whatever. And, it's just, you kind of look at it and you're like, yeah, I mean, everyone else who has these massive audiences, they say and do so much questionable stuff. It's difficult. And then even whenever people do have a great thing happen, like with the Ironmouse situation, instead of people giving her, congratulations, it was people shitting on the fact that a VTuber had the most subscribers on Twitch at one time. it was just this constant barrage of a fictional character getting that achievement, which a VTuber is a persona, and the thing that bugs me about that conversation was, just as like the VTuber is a persona, your fucking username on X and everything else that you use in the profile picture is a persona too. Like, you're doing the same thing. You are a fictional character on the internet. Whenever you don't put your real name and you put an alias and you put a profile picture, you are something fake. It is the same thing. And so, you know, the discourse around that also bugged me, because it's like, why can't we just be positive? Why can't we just say, you know what, good for you, congratulations. You get to hold the title for a little bit. You get to be that person for a little bit, you know, revel in it. Have fun. And the one question that I would pose to you guys, for those of you who like leaving constructive comments and constructive feedback, or any kind of conversational feedback in comment sections, if you make it to this point in the video, number one, I appreciate the shit out of you for watching this long. I know it can't be easy watching through all my ramblings with very little, you know, other entertainment in between about something so probably annoying to you too. But the question I would ask you to discuss with me in the comments and everything is, why is it so hard? You know, why is it so difficult for us to just try and say something nice once or twice a day to somebody? And then why is it so hard to just not say something negative? Say something mean, say something bad. I won't say that I never do, but like on TikTok or something, if I'm scrolling through and then I have something negative to say, I say it negatively out loud and I scroll to the next video. I don't need to leave that comment with that person. I can just say it out loud. And I do it all the time. I do it all the time when gaming. If there's someone, you know, pretty much feeding or throwing a game, I don't go into voice chat or text chat and just go. There are some rare times where, like, yeah, I'll tell people uninstall the game because they're being rude first and they're trying to pin the blame on me or someone else in the game. But in every other, you know, aspect, I'm not going into voice chat berating people. I'm not going into text chat on my own and trying to ruin their day. Maybe they're just having a bad game, because that's still a thought in my mind. I may be angry, but maybe they're having a bad game. Maybe it's something way, you know, maybe there's something else going on. Who knows? But I'll kind of leave everything at that. You know, for smaller content creators, you know, if you guys are facing the same thing, I feel you. You know, I'm always open to having some more mutual, you know, smaller creators to make some content with. I know you guys have seen myself and my friend Austin. We're making our own content and moving along as stuff goes. You know, after this we'll be back to the gaming content and all sorts of stuff, but like, I really felt like I needed to talk about this with my age on the platform on Twitch, you know, approaching 12 years. I mean, 10 years is a long enough time as it is, and seeing all sorts of different, you know, figures on Twitch come and go, whether it be, you know, for things that I think we all know is kind of getting really annoying to see with, you know, with children. But outside of that, you know, we'll go back to the gaming videos. Everything will be back to normal. But I felt like I had a kind of a good sense of talking about this because, number one, I'm tired of it. I'm really am. It's the one thing with content creation that's just very draining and very annoying, but I'm glad to see that other bigger creators like Jack and some others are talking about it as well, where it's like, you know, we all notice the same thing, and it's just insane. You know, I couldn't imagine having these level of audiences that these people do and saying some of the shit that they do. Never in a million years. I would feel so horrible if any of that even, if anything like that ever even slipped out. You know, so other than that, I'll see you guys in the comments. We may see if the comments are just a prime example of everything I've talked about in the video, because they didn't bother watching it all the way through. They watched a little bit to see what I was complaining about and then come at me with personal attacks and all sorts of other stuff. So if it is, I'll have a laugh because it'll prove my point even further. And again, if you guys somehow skip to the end of the video, thanks for the interaction. I won't be paying attention to whatever negative shit you have to say. I'm just going to go, cool, another comment on my video. That's going to feed into the algorithm. So try and have a good day, guys. Try and have a good rest of the week. I know this will come up on Wednesday. You know, Friday's almost here. And just to practice what I preach you guys are doing great no matter what it is, your day job, your life, whatever. So again, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next gaming video. See ya.